Hey guys, it's me, Saudre, and this video is going to be about organization, specifically about time management and stuff, and why it's important, for your day, and like why you should do it.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Fine, thank you.
So what do I mean by organization exactly? Well, that can mean many things, but it can mean time. For me, for right now, it means time management and planning out your day, and it could also mean like physical organization, like cleaning your room or organizing your work or your room. I don't know, but I might go into like physical organization into like in another video. But why it's so important is because if you don't organize your day and your schedule before like you wake up, or like beforehand, then it can like lead to you stalling your good habits more and fall back into bad habits more easily. So like if you go into a day without like planning it out, then you might end up procrastinating good habits more instead of like taking initiative and like going, because like you haven't set a right time to like do it yet. Creating organization in your routine can help take control over like your life, like just take control instead of just like flowing and like reacting to whatever, and that can lead to like like I said before, falling into bad habits. If you just react to things all the time instead of like having a direction and like following a certain path, you'll just like react and fall back into your old habits. And last but not least, it helps prioritize your tasks. So like there are good habits, but they're like very good habits, and it can just help you like get it done. For this video, there's gonna be multiple actionable steps that you can take right now. And for the first one is to create the ideal week. For this, you're gonna use Google Calendar or like whatever calendar you have, and start making like hour-long intervals. No, it doesn't really matter, but start like blocking your time into like different sections of the day. Yeah, if you have school or like work, then like take that into account. If you have any like good habits you want to put into it, then make sure to put those in there, and like make sure that it's like the ideal week, and it's all, and get as like much tasks and much detail into it as possible. This might take, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, but you can do a whole week, you can do one day, you can like do like different like types of days, like days where I'm working, days where I'm not working. Here's an example of my ideal week. I have multiple multiple different days and going on. I have like sleeping, school, whatever. And once you like get it done, it's supposed to help you find important tasks and like prioritize them, which takes them into my next actionable step, is to like make a to-do list, a prioritization list. So go to your notes app and create an entire list of all the tasks you see in your ideal week, and add some more, including like bad habits as well, and like wants, and like things that you might end up doing throughout the week, like appointments or whatever. We're gonna have 3 categories: A tasks, B tasks, and C tasks, have tos, need tos, and want tos. So for the A tasks, they're like have tos, like you have no choice, no matter what, you're gonna like end up doing this task. And so it's like school, sleeping, like things that have already been established and that like you can't really avoid that much. Need tos are like important tasks, like they're like a to-do list, like I need to go to the gym, I need to work out, I need to meditate. All those are in there, all right? And I want you, for these categories, I want you to rank them from 1 to whatever, however many tasks. I want you to rank them to like by like importantness and like how much it aligns with like your goals and like your purpose. And C tasks are want tos, you know, like stuff that aren't exactly good habits, but you're gonna end up like doing it anyways, you know, things you do a lot, like maybe like video gaming or or good habits you might want to implement, like video making or talking to your girl lady time. Now the point of this entire task is to kind of help you realize what tasks are important and what you might need to sacrifice and what you might need to prioritize for like future reference. Now you can go back to the ideal week, because the ideal week, you know, like creating like the perfect routine that most people follow is usually where they stop, but that is like a mistake that most people make. You need to make the ideal week more realistic. So for each task you put in there, start overestimating the time and create a lot of wiggle room, because things take a lot more time than actually expected, you know, like it might take you like 30 minutes. You might need like an hour or 30-minute like period to get from school to like somewhere else, or like you know, you might like end up working overtime work for like an extra hour, who knows, or like 30 minutes. Um or homework might take longer than expected. It might take like an extra hour, who knows. But you need to start making it so that your ideal routine is no longer ideal. It's like more realistic. It's it needs to account for these spaces, I guess. Then next, to like take it to the next level, is to start picking your plans and losses. And now what I mean by that is you need to start planning to sacrifice some things, because things come up and emergencies come up, you know, like there might be a family event that like came out of nowhere, or you know, maybe like a medical emergency just happened and you can't like attend any of these like tasks or anything, or traffic, or you know, even something small as like doom scrolling, or like, you know, like you just like spend too much time wasting time, and now you gotta choose what you need to sacrifice for the day and choose what you need to prioritize instead, you know, with the time you have left over with the day. This is where you're gonna have to reference back to the ABC list I told you about to know what to sacrifice and know what to prioritize. So you know, are you gonna sacrifice working out, or are you gonna sacrifice homework because you spent way too much time doom scrolling, and now you have to pick one or the other to like complete for the day, you know, like are you gonna sacrifice hanging out with your friends, or creating a video, you know? You have to have this in reference and like planned out before you like go, so it doesn't really take you out of any like flow to like, you know, make these decisions, because you already made them beforehand. um what I like to do is I like to think of time as money, you know, time spending, money spending, and like think of these tasks as like needs, like food or whatever. And sometimes like uh emergencies happen and you lose a lot more money than expected. You need to like figure out what you want to spend your time on, you know. Are you gonna buy junk food, you know, like are you gonna, you know, spend your time on doom scrolling video games, or are you gonna buy more healthy food, you know, spend your time on healthy habits like meditation, journaling, and uh you know, always keep that in mind whenever you are like picking and choosing what to do for the rest of the day. What I need you to do is to look at your entire routine and then study it a little and then ask yourself, is this something that I would realistically follow? So like, am I gonna wake up at 5 a.m. even though I fell asleep at like 12 a.m. last night? Probably not. Probably not. And this is where you're going to realize that you can't just dive into the perfect ideal routine. This is why I'm making you modify your routine, is because if you try and do like a hard right turn on your life and like immediately switch up on everything, and it can really, oh, okay, I'm kind of like muttering, but if you like take like a deep turn in your life and change way too fast and like do way too many things at once, it can really like throw you off and overwhelm you. And for example, imagine going to the gym for the first time. Are you gonna put 300 pounds on the bench press and then bench that? Probably not, because you're gonna be overwhelmed. Same thing goes for scheduling and tasking. Is you can't like overwhelm yourself with like too many tasks or too many expectations, or else you'll be overwhelmed. Don't jump into the perfect routine all at once, and take baby steps, like add another habit every day, or like make sure you're like getting consistent results for like at least a week before you like add something else to your routine, or tighten it a little, like make sure you're like actually following the routine and like accounting for losses and stuff, like add a little bit of realism to your thing, and then it'll be much more easier to like stick to this schedule compared to like not to like jumping at it all at once, and maybe you do the perfect ideal routine for like 2 days and then you fall back and fall behind on everything. And it actually, this is what I've done before, but through like studying, I'm able to much more fluently follow my routine, much more consistently. Haven't like, since I've made such a realistic routine, I haven't like strayed off of it much for like the past week at all. And it's been very efficient for me. So just remember to take 1% improvements every day. You don't gotta jump at it all at once. And remember to progressively overload, like add more, if you want. Once you find yourself consistently following a realistic schedule, you can start adding different tracking and time management habits. So what I like to do is I like to keep a physical journal around to help keep track of my habits and take measurements, and like my body weight every day, and like highlights of every day. So I'm gonna give you an example of what I do with my journal. As you can see here, here's an example of what I do. I usually put the month, the day, and the day of the week. And then I usually have 3 habits right up here to track my habits and my body weight, since I am bulking and I need to bulk. So like, for example, if I didn't do reading that day, then I'll put an X. And then like if I did do the habit that day, then I'll mark it down. And then I'll like at the start or end of the day, then I'll put in like my weight, 200 billion pounds. And then if I can, then I'll put in like a little lesson, or highlight of the day, and that's usually what I do for every single day. And once it looks very satisfying once you like complete it, and looks very nice. But that's just an example. What I was saying is that this is very optional, but also very valuable. I think I like physical journeying more than digital journey. because it just has like more impact, but speaking of digital journaling, there there are apps out there, but I don't really use them that much. You can probably like search up journaling or calendar, or any like organization apps out there that can like help you organize this routine much more easily. What I do use is I do use an app called To-Do List, where I just like put in all my lists. It's like a widget in my phone. I can easily access it, and I can easily like change it up. And I don't really use it that much, but it can very much be in your face sometimes if you use the widget correctly. Obviously, like I mentioned before, like for the ideal routine, or like not the ideal routine anymore, just like how you routine, is you can use the Google Calendar or any type of calendar to like block your day out. What I usually do is I do go in the Notes app and then write down every single hour of the day, and like write down what I'm doing at that hour, or like what I think I am doing at that hour. And usually that's like my entire schedule for the entire day, and like I just plan it out so I like know what I'm doing and stuff. And I try and check it as much as possible. I also like make that a widget in my phone, like a big old widget, so I can like constantly see it, so I know what I'm gonna do and like know what I am planning to do. Um, Another thing you can do is add alarms to like every single period, or like change period, where like uh, so it can like make it much more easier to like stick to your schedule if alarms are going off every hour, telling you to like change your task or whatever. And that's completely optional, but that can add an extra level of consistency to your routine. Also, what I do like to do is habit stacking. So usually after I'm done with one habit, I will stack another habit right on top of it. So I brush my teeth every day. I like wake up every day. I get back from school and change my clothes. I like to habit stack, where like after I'm done with this habit, then I can probably add another. So after I'm done brushing my teeth, I can immediately go to meditation. After I change my clothes, I can immediately go to reading. After I wake up, I can immediately start making my bed, and once those habits you stacked on top of each other become consistent and like become a part of your routine, then you can add another habit on top of that, and it can be like a kind of like a domino effect. Once you start this habit, then habitually, without much thought, then you'll start like doing these other things, unconsciously, subconsciously. And this is very good for your like routine and stuff, and very easy way to keep track of your stuff. I do put up pieces of paper around in my room, pieces of paper like this for like my morning routine and like things that I might need, and keep it around in my room so that it's like very obvious in my face all the time, so I don't forget like, okay, here's what I need to do. It's more of like a to-do list, like so you can like keep track of your habits, like did you do this that. Obviously you can check like the to-do list app. uh Obviously you don't have to like immediately implement all the things I've said in this video, but it is extremely helpful to like have these things on your mind at all times, and maybe implementing at least one of these habits that I just like mentioned. One of these like tracking methods can really change your life, like, you know obviously you don't want to like take that big of a churn, baby steps, 1%, what I said, progressive overload, blah 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 blah. But obviously stacking together these things can have a major effect in your life, and like directing your pathway a little bit towards the right way can make a big difference. So if you did these actionable steps, I have a lot of respect for you, And if you are going to implement any of these tracking methods to my routine, you know, like comment down below if you like did any of that or are you going to use any of this. I hope I was a great help for you today. Love yourself, be yourself type shit. I love you.